everybody. Brian Burke with you once again, the editor of the Music and Sound Retailer. And I'm happy to have Cindy Cook today. She's joining us from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Is that right? And from the Candyman Strings and Things. We're here to talk some more about Believe in Music Week. The virtual edition of NAMM for anyone who does not know. I'm sure most of our viewers do. But I wanted to ask you about what you thought about the show, other than winning an award at the time, which I'm sure you're.
Well, there are highlights, I have to say.
So that was a big highlight. Congratulations on that. But
thank you.
Other than that,
well, I just Believe in Music Week. I'm still reeling from that whole experience, and oh my gosh, thank you for the opportunity to talk about it, because I'm so just overwhelmed by what our NAMM did, at NAMM headquarters, and what the team was able to pull off. I'm just, blown away.
Great. Well, what was some of the things you got involved with? I mean, tell me about what you were doing every day. Give me a rundown of what the average day was like. Were you in the store, also while dealing with customers, or were you at home? And what were you going on? Were the education sessions, events? What were you most checking out, and how do you think they could help your business?
Oh, well, all of the above is what I was checking out. And it was interesting because before the forum went live, you couldn't really get in there and see what to expect. And so I was actually, never doubt NAMM because you'll be proven wrong. But I really was a little trepidatious, thinking that, this is probably not going to work for me. It might work for other people, but I'm going to have to wait until they put out some of the recorded content for me to go back and look over. And, even though we devote almost a whole week when we go out to Anaheim, it feels strange dedicating 2, 3, 4, 5 days to sitting at your computer, and so going into it, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but once it went live, immediately people started to connect, and it was so intuitive and user friendly, and you could see the schedule on there. And it was even creating your event and your schedule was so much fun. I actually called my daughter. She's my 21-year-old baby that grew up in the business, now runs our education department. And I told her to log on, and she got addicted to even just the registration and signing up for all of the different things. And so it wasn't just me. That alone was just a hoot. And so fortunately, I kind of just told everybody, I'm just going to stay home and go to NAMM. And basically it was me and my computer and my fuzzy socks and NAMM. And I was telling Zach Phillips the other day that I'm a good binge watcher. I binge watch TV at night like nobody's business, and I binge watched the heck out of the NAMM show from Monday through Friday, even though it didn't officially start till Thursday. I was just glued to the sessions. I was connecting with friends, and then of course when the global live stream with Joe and what's his co-host name?
Herb Trowick.
Yeah, when they went on, I didn't think I was going to be able to watch much of that, but I was glued to that, through the whole Garth Brooks thing, and I found myself commenting way too much live, and I think I pretty much watched that most of the day, and I missed a lot of the sessions that I had signed up for. Because it was hard to look away from that, and all the wonderful live music coming from different countries. It was just really glorious. And I knew that I got a wobbly table. The NAMM University and some of the other educational sessions, I knew they would be recorded. So I did change up my strategy a little bit on that. And it was the same with Friday. So actually, up until last night, I was still watching videos because all of the educational sessions are on demand now through, I think it's the end of this month. I'm not sure what happens after that. So while I'm still in NAMM mode, I wanted to be able to go in and get my yellow pad out and start making notes, watching some of those sessions. So and live music, the global live stream, the educational sessions, connecting with people, it all was just so much fun. And it was really easy for me to just be here at home and dedicate myself to that while, my hubby Rand went to work and kind of held down the fort there. And he actually did all of the vendor meetings.
Oh, okay.
While he was at work. Yeah. And he said he ran just as fast as if he would have been at NAMM.
Yeah, without getting the actual exercise in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
While his butt was planted, he ran a lot of miles.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. For you, it's like Cobra Kai, Bridgerton, and NAMM Believe Musically. But with your binging.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Cobra Kai's in the books. Can't wait till next season. I'm on Bridgerton right now, so I can't wait. I start my binging at about 7 at night, and if I don't fall asleep on the couch, I go till about 9, just like clockwork. Did you watch Cobra Kai?
Yeah, I saw that whole third season. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes. And I just love the 80s music, and it's just as hokey as it was. Well, you're younger than I am, but it was as hokey as it was, when it first came out. And loved it.
I remember. I'm old enough to remember when it first came out. Yeah.
Oh, are you? Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I wasn't that old then, but yeah, I was pretty young. But I do remember that movie. Of course.
Nothing like the 80s, man.
I mean, I just always remember "Cruel Summer" and the song they played in that, and the fight at the end. Yeah, the original.
Oh, that brings back so many memories.
Yeah, that was great stuff. But yeah, no, it's great to hear that you had a good time. I mean, with this, were there any specific sessions you remember that are going to help you in your business? Is there something you take away with there?
Yeah, I'll give you some of my favorites. I mean, the list is long, so just cut me off when we're running out of time. But of course, you have to watch your friends. And I have so many close friends, Namely, as we like to say, from coast to coast. And so there were a few of my friends that did sessions this time, like Mike and Miriam Risco. They basically were doing virtual lessons before any of us, before COVID, before a pandemic was even a glimmer in our eye, or a speck in our eye, maybe I should say. But they I always watch their sessions, and actually I've done a panel with them before. They've been doing it for so long that they had to make very few adjustments when the pandemic hit and when they had to close. So their session was really nice because you could hear what made them start doing virtual lessons in the first place, and then how did they pivot after the pandemic. So that one was really good. And of course, Pete Gamber, he was one of the very first sessions I went to years and years ago when I first started going to the NAMM show. And he's always been my lessons god. And when I was building my program, I always looked at his articles in Music Inc. magazine, and I went to every one of his NAMM presentations. And he's got another one on there that's really, you'd think it would be a no-brainer, but it isn't. I mean, how do you keep your students engaged? You have to make it fun, and he's got ideas for that. And Lee Anderton and Betty Haywood had a good one. Lee Anderton won Dealer of the Year. They're Australia, right? They won Dealer of the Year a couple years ago, and actually won Best of Award this year. But he was talking about customer service and own your customer. And that one, the title kind of got me, because I thought, well, that sounds really weird, own your customer. And it's brilliant the way he explains that. So that one was a good one. And I always love to see Betty anyway. But there was so many. I started with my friends, but a lot of I have like 26 teachers, and they weren't able to log on and watch the sessions live because they were teaching lessons. But I sent them a list of about 12 different sessions, so they wouldn't have to go and find them, specifically for music teachers. And I'm not a music teacher, so I couldn't get as much out of those sessions, but I put those links in my teachers' hands so they could go and find those videos for themselves, where they speak directly to teachers, whether you're doing private lessons or teaching in a school classroom. And there were a lot of those, which was really beneficial. And I felt like it added professional development that I could provide to them through NAMM at no cost to me or them. And so that was really a benefit. And of course, with everybody having to really rely on online sales, Reverb saved us basically because we don't have e-commerce. We've tried and fell on our face doing that a couple of times, getting scammed and things like that. So Reverb really was instrumental in keeping our revenue up throughout the year. So I definitely went in and watched them and their tips for being successful on Reverb. And, the swim, oh my gosh, the ladies that swim always come through with such amazing content. And I loved watching Crystal Morris on one of them. She literally, she literally filmed the opening and the interview in front of her pool, which I thought was really metaphorical. Swim team, swimming pool. I thought that was really, really sweet. So there's just more sessions, more music, more topics than any one person can view probably in the month of February. But, teachers, music teachers have something, manufacturers have something, music retailers have something, and even the professional working musician, the gigging performing musician. There were a lot of sessions that I actually, because a lot of my teachers and my staff also earn part of their living from performing, and that's gone online as well. And there were so many sessions geared toward musicians about how to podcast, how to put on a live performance, what do we do after the pandemic? I mean, it's literally a gold mine. It's just a gold mine of knowledge, no matter what walk of life you come from in the music industry. It was just exquisite, brilliant.
Okay. Well, I'm sure NAMM is going to be watching, and they're really excited. They're gonna love you for saying all that. But yeah, it was.
Well, and I don't think it's just me. I fangirl with them a lot, but I don't think it's just me. I think that anybody that did take the time to turn their computer on and log on probably had the same experience as me, thinking, if this is going to be difficult at all, I'm just not going to waste the time. And it was so simple, so addictive from the first day. And I have found something on the NAMM website. It's called the NAMM Historical Timeline. If you haven't seen it, you should look it up. It's fascinating. NAMM opens or is born in 1901. The first trade show is in 1902. Well, then 1932 was the Great Depression, right? Mm-hmm. So after 30 years of trade shows, they couldn't have a trade show because of the Depression, and they brought it back the next year. And then 1934, they're still depressing, and so they couldn't have it that year either. And then they chug along again until 1945. And I don't know it might have been the Cold War or something. Was that in 1945? Anyway, there was a travel restriction, so people couldn't come to the NAMM show that year either. And so I feel like, and there's other cool little tidbits. Charlie Chaplin did a promotional video for him one year, and there's just all kinds of fun little tidbits. So everybody go to just Google NAMM Historical Timeline so you can see all that. But what they have done is going to be legendary for this year. And hopefully this is the only year we've had to do, it's been required to do virtual. And I know there's going to be a lot of hybrid moving forward, but I think in another 100 years from now, what they've been able to accomplish, that team is going to be on that NAMM Historical Timeline. And, people like you and me are going to, well, maybe not 100 years from now, but we're going to be going, reminiscing. I remember that year and I remember what NAMM did, and I'll always remember it with just, jaw dropped and awe inspired, and just more respect than I even had before for that team. So yeah, bravo, Namely.
Okay, great. Well, yeah, it was definitely fantastic. Everything they did, it's unbelievable how well they put together a virtual event. And yeah, I hope to see you next year in person. Let's try for that. We'll probably be the same hotel again. I'm not gonna say which hotel because everyone's gonna mop you as a retail celebrity.
You and I know the secret.
But we know, you and I both know that we stayed at the same hotel last year, so we know what that is.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Oh my gosh. And I'm sure in your Facebook, all the memories are popping up from NAMM shows past and making us lament a little bit. So, and it's always nice to have something to look forward to. And I know tentatively the summer NAMM show's on, and I can't imagine it wouldn't be on for WNAMM. So yes, looking forward to seeing you and hanging out with you. Brian, thank you so much for asking me to talk about one of my top subjects this week.
Well, thank you. I want to thank Cindy Cook for the interview from the Candyman strings and things. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and always keep in touch, and great work at the store.
Thank you. Peace.